What's up, guys? It's Dave with Beast Bets. I got 5 picks for a Prizepicks card for you. It's Taco Tuesday. Let's get right into it. Clint Capella, points. 10 is his prop. We're taking the over. He's averaged 10 over his last 5 games, going over this in 3 of his last 5. Atlanta taking on Boston in Boston. A 229.5 implied total on the game. That's the highest on the slate out of the 3 games. And Boston's a 10.5 point favorite, guys. So blowout risk definitely in play. Clint Capella is going to need to step it up. In just dating back, if we look over here on StatMuse, dating back to the middle of February, there's only been a handful of games, 5 to be exact, that he has not achieved this prop, guys. So we have well over a 50% hit percentage on this coming out of the model. We're going to take the over on Clint Capella points, guys. Lock it in. All right, next up, P&A. A little P&A. Points and assists. We're going to Darius Garland. We've been taking the points prop alone at 20 all season long, guys. 20 and 21 and getting it. So his points and assists is at 28.5. He's averaged 7.5 assists on the game and averaged 22 points on the season, guys. Let's go, Darius Garland. Points and assists over. If we look back at this last performance of Darius Garland against New York, he only had... There we go. Look at this back at this last game, guys. He only had 1 assist. Now, he played 43 minutes. I didn't watch the game. I've looked back at a lot of the stats from it, and it all went to Garland. Mitchell. Mitchell had 8 assists, so it just kind of flip-flopped, right? And he didn't really step it up in scoring either, because he only had 17 points. But if we look on the season, his average is 7.5 assists, and like I told you, his average on points, it's a little under 22. It's like 21. So we're going to take the over on points and assists. Darius Garland, let's go. It's playoff time, baby. This usage, these minutes are going up. I think it's going to be a decently competitive game. A little bit of a low-scoring game, but we have full confidence in our projections and in Darius Garland. So we're moving right along to the next victim. And we're sticking with that game, guys. And we're going with fantasy score, and we're going with Jared Allen. Well, we don't get fantasy score props this often, but Jared Allen is projected. His prop is 33.5. We have him projected for 35 fantasy points. That is a 2-point discrepancy. We're going to lock in Jared Allen over fantasy score 33.5, guys. Love it. Next up, Ivica Zubac, sticking with fantasy score. Late game, 10-10 tip-off, 25.5. Ivica Zubac has gone over this in 3 of his last 5, averaging 29.7 over his last 5 games. We have full confidence that Ivica Zubac can step it up and do this. No Paul George. Kawhi Leonard's obviously stepped it up. And we have another Kawhi Leonard prop coming up. We got another fantasy prop coming to you. But this is far too low for a center that's going to get these big minutes in the playoff with a decently competitive game. Phoenix is the favorite by 7.5 points. It's 225.5 implied score on the game, guys. So we're going to take the over on fantasy score on Ivica Zubac. All right, last but certainly not least, same game, Kawhi Leonard, a little bit high. He's averaged 48.2 fantasy score over his last 5 games. Now remember, this is FanDuel scoring, guys. Playing Phoenix, we know this. 225.5 implied score. So somebody's got to score. Somebody's got to be doing it. We think that the Clippers are going to make it a little bit tougher of a fight than we think, even without Paul George. And we know who's going to do all the work without Paul George, and that's Kawhi Leonard. So we're going to take the over on his fantasy score, guys. Let me hop over here and share this tab with you. Ivica Zubac, over 25.5 fantasy score. Clint Capella, over 10 points. Darius Garland, over 28.5 points and assists. Jared Allen, over 33.5 fantasy score. And Kawhi Leonard, over 47.5 fantasy score. Go ahead and smash that like if you haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell, guys. Check out my website. Check out Thrive Fantasy for all of the promotions that got going on there. Like $250 for free. That's pretty sweet. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great Taco Tuesday. Too early for the taco, Maybe I'll put a short out later with that on it. Stay tuned. Love ya.